My beloved child, stand still in this hour, for in less than 20 minutes, Archangel Michael will pierce the shadows and shatter every hidden chain that has bound your soul. Do not dismiss the tremor in your heart or the tears you've shed. They are heaven's signal that a revelation, forged before time began, is poised to break through. If you turn away now, you risk forfeiting the sacred unveiling I've labored centuries to deliver. Heed my voice, for each second slipping by narrows this fleeting window. Stay with me to the last word, and you will witness a truth so fierce it will reshape your destiny and ignite an unshakable hope. Today, I want you to realize these sentiments are not imaginary, and those battles are not without purpose. They are signals from me, constantly reminding you that you are never adrift, that my hand still holds you, even if you believe you lack the strength to keep going. Deep within, you have always yearned for confirmation, for a message descending from heaven, an unquestionable sign affirming that your perceptions are authentic, that you are never isolated on this challenging road. Here it stands. This is indeed that assurance. This is the radiant beacon you have been seeking in the dense midnight. This is the reverberation of truth, extending to the most concealed recesses of your soul, regions unblemished by mortal speech, where solely my nearness can comfort, can heal, and can uphold you. My child, refuse to disregard whatever resonates within your spirit. Do not muffle the quiet beckoning simply out of hesitation or skepticism. Do not allow worldly uproar to silence your holy sensitivity, for it is a grace. It signifies that I am guiding you into realms deeper, loftier, broader than you have dreamt possible. I know there were times when you doubted yourself, moments in which you pondered, perhaps I'm envisioning illusions. Maybe I aspire for too much. But this day I overturn each misgiving with this proclamation. No, you are not fantasizing. No, you are not asking beyond reason. I am the one who implanted that tremendous yearning in your spirit. I am the one who sowed in you the aspiration to draw nearer, delve further, and walk more earnestly in the brightness of my splendor. Trust that each profound stirring in you is a marker of my nearness. Let that earnest prompting usher you to the posture of prayer, where you relinquish yourself fully into my arms. Permit your tears to forge a channel enabling me to enter, transform, rejuvenate, and restore every portion of your life eroded by unperceived struggles. Observe how, as you heed this invitation, a shift gradually emerges, beyond description, yet impossible to deny. It will not flash in abrupt outbursts, but like an unseen stream advancing quietly beneath the ground, resolute and unstoppable. A profound joy, an unwavering peace, and an indomitable hope will, bit by bit, weave themselves into the core of who you are. Now, my adored child, the thick drape which once concealed the enigmas of your life is carefully being pulled back by my hand. The matters that remained hidden, the realities retained because their timing was premature. Today, in this hallowed instant, they commence unveiling under the glow of my grandeur. That time you only vaguely perceived, the era you awaited with impatient pleas, has finally arrived. This is no longer some far-off anticipation or unreachable vow. It is tangible. This moment bears the seal of heaven, wherein I, the Lord your God, am personally intervening to reveal what you must comprehend, allowing you to enter the next narrative formulated for your soul. There remains but a very brief pause, barely 20 minutes, according to the celestial schedule, before Archangel Michael, appointed to guard and wage spiritual battles for the chosen, approaches you. The holy breath gradually saturates the atmosphere around you. A presence, if you still your soul sufficiently, will be felt as space itself widening around you. Your pulse resonates with a more profound, more sacred cadence. Wordless prayers and hushed requests fermenting in your spirit are being carried to my throne as a delicate tribute that is forever preserved. My child, ready your heart, for after this day, following this sanctified encounter, your existence cannot remain the same. A revelation is at hand, a disclosure about you, about how I value you, about the divine essence I sowed in you from the dawn of creation, about the heavenly gifts you have yet to recognize fully. Whatever sorrow, rejection, or sense of worthlessness once concealed them shall now be laid bare with tenderness but great might. Therefore, do not steel your heart against it. Do not permit bygone scars, scorching recollections, or quiet uncertainties to block the heavenly chance your soul has long been clamoring for throughout innumerable chapters. I have watched you trudging through gloom-cloaked valleys, braving tempests most people could not fathom. I recognize the internal wars you have fought in isolation, without protest, never uttering a cry for assistance. But my precious one, even if all others turned away, I never departed. My angels remained vigilant by your bedside through your darkest nights. When you lay silent, gazing blankly into emptiness, desperately hunting for a hint of hope amid an expanse of despair, I beheld you when no one else would care. I accounted for each sigh, every unvoiced tear, every prayer too raw to be articulated. I witnessed your heart quivering but refusing to abandon hope. You imagined you were alone, yet the reality is that my angelic battalion never left you. Whenever you presumed you had collapsed too far to recover, they bore you up on intangible arms. Whenever you were certain you had gone past redemption, it was I, quietly placing signs to guide you home. Secrets lie within you, secrets about your purpose, intricately woven into a grander design than you dare envision, awaiting revelation. Yet in order to receive them, you must unlatch your heart. You must shed each load. You must believe that I cherish you not on account of your flawlessness, but because you have always belonged to me from before time began. My beloved child, open your heart like damp, tilled earth, yearning for that inaugural downpour of the season. Let your tears spill freely. Allow your heart to quake. Resist the urge to repress them. Do not compel yourself to show fortitude when I long only for your tenderness before me. Indeed, in that very brokenness, I shall restore you with the rarest of materials: steadfast love, measureless mercy, and heavenly power. And presently, my dearest, hush your soul even more, for this revelation will reach the most secret compartments of your being. In the subdued flow of events materializing around you, unseen by physical senses, a person has spoken a hidden truth, a confession intimately linked to you. They have struggled to bury it within the confines of their mind, hoping time would erase it, hoping you would remain in the dark, hoping it would never emerge in the stream of your life. They tremble beneath the crushing weight of what they anticipate will occur when the entire truth stands before you. Their fingers once extended to grasp yours, but within, they understood that if your gaze perceived who they were inside, if your heart understood the breadth of the truth, a rift would inevitably open between you. They cannot meet your eyes, frightened that the clarity you possess, untainted and reliant, will reflect their guilt. They dread facing the sorrow that will surge within you when the truth at last emerges into the daylight. This is an appointment with destiny, a sacred junction where your path is separated from intangible restraints that have confined you for too long. This is the occasion when earth and heaven both witness a spiritual reshaping, a falling away of hidden chains you have tried in vain to unlock, never grasping why you always sensed entrapment. Their testimony, a burdened, quivering admission, is not a simple private confession. It is inextricably involved in your destiny. It ushers in a doorway that, regardless of your previous efforts, remained firmly barred. Their words, uttered with shaken resolve and tears, have reverberated through the heavens, for in the supernatural domain, utterances brimming with spiritual potency had erected cloaked barriers, obstructing the stream of blessings I have yearned to unleash in your life. You have, for quite a while, faintly perceived that something was awry, as though an invisible entity kept slamming shut portals meant to be open, as though fulfillment, though nearly tangible, would slip away from your hold. as though the seeds you sowed in earnestness and honesty stubbornly refused to sprout. You once asked yourself, "Am I missing something?" But on this day I announce, no, it was never you. It was never owing to inadequacy, never because you didn't measure up. Rather, it arose from a warped force, a distortion in the spiritual dimension sparked by dialogue spoken minus love, minus sincerity. Conversations uttered in darkness, infused with jealous motives, with bitterness, with invective disguised politely to the eye. All of these conspired into an unseen net which strangled the favor straining to reach you. And presently, in this exact second, I am acting. I personally am unmasking everything kept secret. I am going to the very sources of hindrance, diving into the realm where the adversary imagined he could remain undetected in perpetuity. This explains the inexplicable heaviness you carried in your spirit, the feeling of incarceration despite external abundance. This explains the intangible blockade you struggled against, no matter your efforts to demolish it. But hear me now, my dearest. That time is finished. The words once slung against you, sentences laden with destructive force, phrases stacking barriers and spurring uncertainty over your value, are now turned back. My authority, my might, and my own son's precious blood disintegrate each shackle. The unseen fetters break, the covert allegations laid bare, while the glow of justice, the lamp of absolute truth, beams into the depths of darkness. You shall roam no longer in weariness. I am directing you from the maze of bewilderment. No longer will you chase fleeting gladness, only to watch it evade your grasp. I am providing you with a gladness that cannot be snatched away, a calm no storm can rattle. You are moving into a new era, your stride secure. The seeds you sow will ripen in proper time, and blessings shall locate and dwell with you unfettered. My beloved child, be on alert. Position your soul to absorb the renewing stream from my throne. Decline the urge to retreat to what was disordered and worn out. Opt to let go of the grievances, the infinite why queries that no longer serve your growth. Grant me access to fill each vacant crevice with my completeness, with invigorated vitality, with the force of a life liberated from the bondage of former words. Not only shall you be cured, but you shall also be restored 100-fold. The stolen periods, the missed chances, the hopes that seemed irreversibly broken, I shall gather them, redeem them, and cause them to yield harvests well beyond your highest aspirations. And this shall not come because you hold worth by mortal estimations, but because you are adored, appointed, and molded to showcase my splendor on this earth. In recent days, Archangel Michael, the formidable guardian of the celestial realms, has been passionately laboring to break through the commotion surrounding your world. Your angst, your ceaseless busyness, your thick, nameless wanderings, aiming to deliver a sign from the divine, a testament, a gentle echo, a delicate stirring in your spirit, intended to rouse you from the veiled drift that circles you. Michael stands watch at the doorway of your consciousness, steadily knocking at your heart's entry with the urgency of the eternal, longing for your ears to open and your will to respond promptly. Oh, my dearest, each instance you diverted your gaze, each time you held off due to trepidation or got lost in fleeting concerns, every time you murmured, "Later I will pay attention, when I have more time, when I am adequately prepared," it was almost as though you unknowingly bruised the one whose love is immeasurable, the one diligently striving to spare you from perils hidden from your physical view, but deeply sensed by your spirit. Are you aware, my child, that this sense of urgency in the spiritual realm is nothing like the frantic rush of this sphere, but a hallowed quaking at the edge of monumental events? Whenever I cry out to you with insistence, it is not that I am restless, but because I perceive what still eludes you. I foresee your untraveled routes. I observe the traps set ahead. I see how a lack of wakefulness might cost you invaluable years, which should have blossomed with celebration and fruitful endeavors. Do not replicate these patterns, my child. Do not dismiss divine openings as swiftly as drifting clouds. Certain opportunities, once lost, are exceedingly difficult to recover. I do not share these realities to instill dread, but to clarify. These circumstances are unlike ordinary times. This is the phase for you to seize with both hands all that I pour forth wholeheartedly, with a faith that surpasses conventional logic. Your soul, for such a length of time, has wrestled in a conflict your body scarcely recognized. You assumed you simply needed relief from occupation, from everyday burdens. However, a metaphysical clash stirred overhead in your life, indiscernible to mortal eyes, yet deafening in the realm of spirits. These camouflaged assaults dulled your bliss, concealed your hope, and weighed down your visions until they hovered like faint gray clouds, reluctant to disperse. You sensed this friction in your late-night insomnia, in your morning gloom, in the silent intervals of vacancy where inexplicable sorrow surfaced. Not just emotional, it was the force of a supernatural warfare your spirit has been waging. Because you stand upon disputed land, nearing the gateway of a major release, and the adversary exerts everything to deter you. But do not be afraid, my precious child, for I have not summoned you simply to awareness of this struggle. I have summoned you to remember you do not war on your own. Archangel Michael, together with heavenly legions, stands and has stood at your side in combat. My gaze remains fixed upon you, never wavering. My arm is stretched out, prepared to elevate you should you lose your footing. On this day, I ask merely one act: attend. Let your heart be like arid, cracked soil aching for moisture. Allow me to guide you beyond the cycle of postponement. Accept my impartation of courage to discern the hints I have already dispatched. Because hidden behind a single modest step of compliance today, there is a gate so immense you have never visualized it. Concealed behind one humble inclination of deference now is a soul-shifting outcome for you. Step forth from the vortex of later. Move beyond the reflex to stifle the faint sigh of your soul. Declare, Lord, I heed you this day, I stand prepared now. And the moment you speak these words, the moment you opt to enter the stream of compliance, I affirm this. I will provide you clarity, resolve, bliss, and a force hitherto unknown. The walls dividing shall crumble, the covert arrows aimed at your spirit will splinter in front of me, and you shall no longer roam as a prisoner, but as one truly liberated, a child of illumination, an inheritor of all the splendid promises of the kingdom. Beloved, now I plead with you. Recall all the endless, unsettled nights, the intervals when you lay down with an uneasy head, the peculiar dreams that jarred you from sleep with a racing pulse at unwelcome hours. Resist discarding these occurrences. Do not chastise yourself, thinking perhaps you were too frail or excessively emotional. You strain to rid your mind of those impressions, striving to validate them as meaningless illusions. Yet I tell you now, it was far from meaninglessness. You have peered into the spiritual dimension. You have brushed against truths that defy the bounds of logic or the usual realms of men. By my prompting, your spirit awakened and responded to resonances in the divine sphere, districts imperceptible to mortal organs. Such visions were never random. They were forewarning, emblematic messages, vivid pictures designed to alert you to the unseen battles persisting around you, skirmishes your human form could not yet understand, though your spirit was crystal clear. Those cryptic figures, locked portals, lurking silhouettes, disembodied voices in the dark, all held significance. You received a gift, the capacity to see what others cannot. These revelations were never intended to traumatize you, but to caution you, to equip you, to underscore the truth that you tread in an authentic battleground where the soul is the supreme prize sought by heaven and by hell. Never forget, my dearest, that those summoned to a profound pursuit of sacred living are likewise granted insight of greater breadth and depth. Your profound responsiveness is never a shortcoming. It is a treasured offering, an offering to be safeguarded, refined, and shielded from worldly distraction. Do not yield to the misguided who, oblivious to their own spirits, claim you overreact. Never surrender to the cold scorn of society that seeks to extinguish your discerning spark that I myself ignited within you. You have been awakened. You have been charged. Once sight is granted, you cannot revert to unknowing. Once your spiritual vision has opened, you detect each tremor surging beneath the tangible plane. This truly is an honor, revealing that I trust you to convey radiance into enveloping darkness, to be a sentinel bridging heaven and earth, interceding, staying grounded, voicing truth while others doze in oblivion. However, I also perceive, my child, how that heightened discernment can at times burden your heart. I know some nights you crave release from what you witness, longing for a simpler existence, craving the mundane life others appear to relish. I see those flashes in which you wish your sensitivity was less, hoping to inhabit the carefree realm that remains out of your reach. But heed me, my beloved. It is precisely this deep empathy, this seeing beyond, this stirring that has always resonated within you. That stirring has been, is, and shall always be an integral facet of your destined path. Shun all fear of these visions. Do not let your dreams terrify you. Do not let your symbols frighten you. Instead, commit them to me. Request, Lord, make them clear, expand my understanding. And I vow I will not permit confusion to consume you. I will coach you in differentiating what is a divine message, which might be the mere echo of the psyche, and which is subterfuge by the adversary. I will show you how to listen with tranquility rather than dread, how to see through eyes ignited by faith rather than suspicion. You shall learn dream interpretation, the significance of signs, the art of navigating this noisy realm unseduced by its chaos. You will serve as a spiritual lookout, one whose supplications can adjust the trajectory of invisible conflicts, one whose night whispers can summon angelic armies, toppling fortifications in the shadows. Yet the foundation is trust, faith in the honesty of your perceptions, faith that I am at work, faith that I steer every stride, word, and glance, faith that you do not walk in solitude. Hence, my cherished child, be not afraid. Doubt not the stirrings I incite within. Lean in, come closer, ask of me, acquire the skill of listening, grasp the art of seeing with your inner eye, not merely through the rational framework of man. You have awakened, and you must now brace yourself, pressing forward to learn. You shall witness marvels beyond all you have envisioned, beyond even the boundaries of your imagination. For you are appointed not simply to survive, but to truly live, to beam brightly, and to shape this age with the radiance emanating from the timeless source. This is not an accidental declaration. This is an urgent summons, a horn resonating in hidden spaces, for you in particular. Because there is a crucial fact you need to grasp. A certain individual has prayed unspoken prayers that the realization unveiling itself right now never become visible. A person who once clung to an intangible hold over your life, who pleaded that the illuminations remain dim, that the revelation never appear. They understood beyond question that if your eyes came into the full brilliance of heaven, you would perceive them through a new lens. They are afraid of that light, because it shall show what was veiled. They fear unveiling, as it will annihilate the authority they once exercised covertly. It is not simply fear of forfeited influence. They dread the extinction of the status, ensuring you remain perpetually fixed in confusion, dependence, and limiting frames, whether knowingly or inadvertently planted around you. Today, my child, I announce that their power dissolves. Every secret fetter confining your future to deferral, to postponement, and to that intangible oppression is shattered by the omnipotent brilliance of truth. The dominion they held over you is vanishing bit by bit, like desiccated leaves losing their grip under the shifting breeze of my spirit. My sweet one, I realize how you recoil from hearing this. I sense how it pierces your heart to recognize that the tenderness you gave was misused, that the protective trust you maintained was twisted into an unspoken yoke. But you must remember, I do not bring this into the open to wound you, but to deliver you, extricating you from unseen confinements that have drained your vigor, weakened your optimism, and forestalled what I had sworn for you. Now is not the hour for remorse, nor for animosity. It is the hour for jubilation, for you have been redeemed. You have abided in conditions far beneath your worth, surrendered to influences that could have been toppled long ago if not for those invisible chains. You had presumed those limitations were your own flaws, that you were simply not enough. But no, my child, there were forces subtly cloaked in caring and closeness, while slowly dismantling your trust and divesting you of your rightful inheritance. But on this day, I arrived to shred that bondage. I arrived to remove the covering from your sight. I come to hand you a genuine key to liberty, a freedom that cannot be stolen, bargained for, or tampered with. And please understand, you need not adopt spite or scramble to reclaim your dignity by human means. I shall champion you. I shall return your dignity. I shall settle you in a prosperous harvest, unstoppable by any presence, physical or incorporeal. What I desire now is your unadulterated trust, a yielding of your compulsion to avenge yourself, a willingness to surrender all to my method, which far surpasses your best strategies, wiser, more equitable, brimming with immeasurable compassion beyond your ability. Let me saturate your soul with a transcendent serenity. Let me mend ancient pains, filling voids left by manipulated bonds. Ready yourself, for a fresh era awaits, an era of lucidity, emancipation, and abundant joy. Certain individuals will not discern you any longer, as your inner blaze will be too brilliant for those accustomed to murky half-lights. Avenues once hidden shall materialize, fresh entrances shall be unlocked, places accessible only to those I have specially empowered to journey beside you. You will cease contorting your spirit into archaic patterns. I am introducing a new phenomenon in your world, something magnificent, potent, and teeming with blessings. This is more than an unveiling. It is a sacred intervention, a purposeful act by the one who loves you with infinite tenderness, severing each veiled link that has impeded you from moving forward in your genuine destiny. Yes, God is disclosing everything they presumed would remain forever buried. They had clung to the confidence that if they kept the doors locked, spoke words in secrecy, everything would stay obscured. They believed no one would uncover them, ensuring those improper loyalties remained intact. Yet they forgot that nothing escapes the sight of the all-seeing. The moment has come for everything to surface. No sanctuary remains for deception. No retreat for cunning manipulations behind cordial exteriors. Because someone, inspired from on high, uttered what they kept private. A confession surfaced, a once impregnable entrance thrown wide, exposing that behind the scenes unloving words were spoken. Words contrived to stealthily distort others' views of you, whispers aimed at unraveling trust, tarnishing your standing, and barring you from forging ties and embarking on chances which I had long designated for your life. My child, I comprehend how, initially, you will feel your heart weighed with disillusionment. I know the agony of learning that those you confided in were, in truth, diminishing your image covertly. Yet I say to you now, do not permit such pain to embitter you. Let it serve as fuel that launches you into the fresh strength I prepared. For the marvel is this: instead of extinguishing you, this unmasking will fortify you. Precious soul, gaze upon what is truly unfolding. This is not everything collapsing. It is a refinement. This is not an irreversible void. It is a celestial boundary that I arranged in advance to keep you safe from harms your senses could not detect. The illusions which tethered you with cunning words are being severed. Those negative agents that slowly wore away your elation, your self-assurance, and your progress now stand unveiled and uprooted by my might. Soon you shall notice your soul grow lighter with each day. Your spiritual perception will sharpen. You will savor a release that you have never known, a release from outward constraints, yes, but more vitally from inner ones, a freedom to trust, to love, and to dream once more without fear of hidden knives. The condemning words spoken in dark corners to sabotage your fate have now lost effect. Their potency is neutralized. They no longer press upon you, no longer disrupt my grace, or hamper the blessings I pour into your existence. Because I have mandated that all hidden matters must emerge, that what once rose against you shall become the foundation elevating you, and you will marvel at how this collapse ushers in new associations, genuine connections rooted in steadfast love, unwavering reliance, and direction from on high. Individuals I send into your life will not pressure you to validate your worth. They will instantly perceive your luminous core, for my spirit within them will confirm the authenticity of my spirit in you. Therefore, my child, restrain from lamenting the past. Do not mourn whatever I have dismantled. Do not cling to the threadbare attachments that had outlived their vigor. Advance with an intrepid soul tucked in an unbreakable serenity, certain that what lies ahead surpasses by far what you have relinquished. These hush-hush pronouncements or disguised influences bind you no more. You are mine, and none can wrest you away from my grasp. Exude courage, my child. Lift your gaze upward. Inhale the brisk gust of my spirit, letting it be the breeze propelling your voyage into roomier waters, teeming with prospects. From now, each footstep shall serve as a powerful testament that light always triumphs over darkness, that truth indeed liberates, and that my devotion to you is indefatigable. Your spirit stands on the verge of an unmatched tipping point, an instant woven from hushed petitions, undisclosed sorrow, and delicate dreams which you barely dared to articulate. Yet for that gate to swing wide, more than your restless longing is needed. It requires a complete yes, rising from the core of your being, a consent deeper than mental agreement, a vow from the trembling heart and vigilant soul. My power is not limited by your endorsement, but my love demands cooperation, never aggression. I present an invitation, not an imposition. And so, that breakthrough waits for your full receptivity. A surrender beyond conditions, no corners kept for yourself. Recognize, beloved, an unperceived pattern loops through your lineage, persevering for generations. A silent drift where, whenever someone sought to ascend or take hold of light, some hidden vortex yanked them under. Unfulfilled wishes, half-grasped potentials, unwavering efforts that abruptly faltered for no reason anyone could name. And now it has obviously turned on you. It attempts to curl around you like imperceptible bonds, insinuating doubts. You'll fail like them. Why bother? Sowing exhaustion, ambiguous dread, and underlying hopelessness. But it overlooked one pivotal factor: my holy calling upon you, a flame unstoppable, enduring throughout your hidden years, though you never realized it. That gentle yet persistent urging guided you to pause, to attend, and to deviate from the usual course. The mere reading of these lines, the opening of your soul to the eternal voice, has disturbed that once unchallenged cycle. You have snapped the generational chain. You have awakened a darkness that thrived on static patterns and unbroken repetition. You are not halting it. No, you are breaking it. My beloved child, this is not just your private conflict. This is a battlefield for your entire bloodline. Every yes you speak tears down barriers for descendants to approach unbound. Each trusting move, albeit small, is carving a testimony in your family's narrative, a symbol of release, of renewal, of overflowing life. You wonder in weak moments, why me? Why am I the one bearing this overwhelming confrontation? But see, my dear, it is precisely your consistency, tenderness, and thirst for righteousness that compelled me to choose you. You are not deserted in this. You are entrusted, readied, and divinely led. I stand beside you. I war alongside you, and I have endowed you with authority, not merely to reclaim your personal freedom, but to disrupt the captivity of those near to your heart, including some who do not even acknowledge their need. Dismiss the notion that your discreet decisions fall unheeded. Each instance you dismiss fear for faith, the heavens quake. Each subdued petition is a clarion in the spiritual dimension, rattling ramparts built on deceit. Each tiny demonstration of trust, each mild utterance of amen, hurls a dart straight into the enemy's core. Hence I beckon. Come forward, incline toward my call. Rather than skirting the edge of your leap of faith, enter it wholly, summoning courage shaped by your vulnerability laid in my hands. I do not require your flawlessness, only your openness. Should you dare to accept, to unite your will to mine, to step out, you will see your own metamorphosis, but also watch the land beneath your tread becoming revived. You will observe splits healed, locked doors in your clan thrown open, as if by invisible hands, inviting fresh grace. O dear soul, a magnificent harvest awaits those who pressed forward, watering dry ground with tears and standing steadfast in trust. Be daring, forge on, because you were undeniably born for a moment like this, emerging specifically in this era. It is you I have summoned to halt what should be ended and birth what had never before existed. And I, who adored you before earth had shape, I, who never lifted my watchful gaze from your uncertain journey, swear not to abandon you halfway. As you advance, I become the gust beneath your wings. When you tremble, I become the heartbeat that sustains you. When you waver, I am the gentle voice reminding you, my child, your triumph is preordained. So arise, O progenitor of transformation. Advance resolutely. Let your declaration of obedience resound through every realm, destroying ancient fetters, blazing a radiant route, not just for you, but for successive generations who will bless your name with reverence. I have observed more intimately than any other the occasions you refused to compromise your faith amidst utter ridicule. I have noted those hours you felt alien in a universe that scoffed at your principles and mocked your devotion. I was there, my cherished, for each forced smile meant to cover hidden wounds. No philanthropic gesture, extended out of your own need, escaped my notice. I cherished every act of empathy, tangible or intangible, as an exquisite offering soaring to my throne. In those events when you selflessly reached out, not only with provision but also grace, motivation, and optimism, even while battling personal deprivation, none of those benevolent deeds bypassed my sight. And I likewise observed each instant you stayed quiet, although you were justified in speaking. I saw you withholding recrimination, even when others wove tales, bent facts, manufactured deception to smear your good name. I saw the ache in your spirit that wanted to shout, to highlight the distortions, but chose to kneel and hush, giving that woundedness to me as a sweet incense. Let no thought of being overlooked grip your heart. Every voiceless agony rings through the halls of heaven, multiplying in timeless resonance. My child, I also witnessed the episodes you withdrew so others might stand in the spotlight, despite your own potential. I recognize your noble spirit, your choice to sacrifice self-advancement for another's success so they could bask in love's comforting glow. You never did this for distinction or praise. The impetus was a noble flame, an extraordinary kindness, a heart beating in harmony with my nature. Take heart in knowing I saw each unreciprocated sacrifice. None is lost in oblivion. Every philanthropic impulse was recorded by me in eternal journals, meticulously documented, sealed with my affection. Even if you resigned yourself to the notion that your recompense might be lost, drifting aimlessly in the wind, I, the one who searches the innermost chambers, have kept an impeccable tally of every kindness, however slight. And now, my dependable child, I declare, the harvest has arrived, the reward season dawns. The seeds you once planted with tears have grown deeper than you suspected, and now they will burst into fruition beyond your loftiest projections. The hateful statements once targeted to flatten you will lift you higher. The defamation you underwent in voiceless acceptance will stand as a manifesto of my sustaining grace. Everything taken from you, every long-lost prospect you assumed was beyond revival, shall be reclaimed for you, not just in double measure, but multiplied many times over. My child, in instances when bitterness would have been easier, you chose generosity. When revenge was eagerly sought by others, you chose kindness. When treachery spread all around, you clung to fidelity. Through these choices, you unbarred heaven's portals which none can shut. And the day is coming soon for you to step into a divine era of blessing, where I will recompense according not to human perspective, not even by popular rumor, but by the silent loyalty only you and I share. A loyalty that never clamored for accolades or sought attention, never required mortal applause. My beloved child, the recompense ahead will be far more than short-term relief. It will deliver a profound joy impervious to external conditions, a reward anchored in my direct approval, from the heart that noticed you when everyone else abandoned, that adored you when no one understood, that lovingly preserved every moment you believed had slipped away. Stand with perseverance, my dear one. Raise your face, for my day of vindication on your behalf nears. And when I act, all shall see that it is my hand elevating you, my hand gently wiping your stealthy tears. It is my affirmation that crowns you in front of the very people who once belittled you. Remember, I do not only recall what you accomplished. I remember every instance you chose not to act, the second you declined to seek retribution, the moment you decided to forgo your right to speak simply because you selected the route of grace over aggression. For such reasons, your forthcoming recompense is beyond mortal imagination. It will surpass your loftiest pleas and hidden yearnings. You do not endure this route alone. I was present on every somber night you cried yourself to sleep, and I remain prepared to immerse your days in my brilliance. Therefore, keep walking ahead. Refuse the deception that my silence suggests inattentiveness. Refuse the thought that deferrals prove I do not care. Whatever I promise, I also fulfill. And once my hand moves, the entire world will acknowledge you are my beloved, the one anointed to resonate my goodness, the one who stands as a living testament to my unchanging devotion. These words did not find you inadvertently, nor is their appearance random in the midst of endless chaotic chatter. My treasured child, by my orchestration alone, you stumbled across this message precisely when your spirit is ready. An hour that might appear ordinary, but in truth is a fork in the road. There is a grand reason for the thumping in your chest, the mysterious shaking in your inner self. It is the sign that the gates of heaven start to part before you. Some grand, potent undercurrent is stirring where the eye cannot look. The intangible hurdles once dividing you from your essential destiny are starting to quake, while the ancient hinges that have sat locked for countless epochs, gates you never knew were secured, are preparing to swing wide. And these words you see, this testimony immersed in favor, are not just ordinary text. They are keys carefully crafted for you alone, placed in your hands by my enduring compassion. Each word, each phrase is an echo at your spirit's threshold, stirring dormant wonders you believe to be extinct. These keys carry the potential not merely to unseal opportunities or goals, but to annihilate each hidden restraint shackling your soul for ages. Indeed, you and no other have been singled out to hold these keys, not because you are sinless or stronger than your peers, but because, in the core of your being, a faint yet perpetual light endures, a thirst the fiercest storm could not extinguish. I have beheld you, even on the days you sensed yourself invisible, even in the nights you pondered if life had any significance at all. I summoned you out of the gloom of skepticism, from that hazy crossroads of nameless ways. Sections within your heart lay walled off by agonies, by chaos, by words of censure, by a barrage of hurtful stories you yearned to bury. Doors you purposefully barred, believing that might protect you, believing it could lessen the hurt. But my precious, I never meant for you to dwell behind dark boundaries. I formed you for open expanses, for brilliance, for liberty, for a life brimming with boundless possibility. Today, I bring forth these keys. I offer you the chance to reopen all you once locked, to step forth, to claim what is yours, prepared for you even before I shaped the world. You are not just an anonymous figure drifting in crowds. You are carved into the palm of my hand. You are the one for whom every heartbeat is monitored, whose faintest cry is understood. And this key which I entrust to you is meant to do more than remove your own roadblocks. It shall unlock destinies reliant on your light shining in them. You may think yourself lacking. You may reflect on your mistakes, your shaky moments, concluding that you are undeserving of bearing a task so holy. But my beloved child, it is I, the one who accompanied you in your murkiest hours, who have anointed you. I did not select you due to your flawlessness, but because I recognized a heart receptive, a soul that pursues truth, though your steps remain unsteady. I know every clandestine duel, every hidden snare that you overcame, each instance you hung on to faith while facing bleak evidence. I, who saw it, am now clearing your route. Hence, let your doubts subside. Resist the urge to stand at that threshold uncertainly. Clutch the key even if your fingers quiver. Turn it with a soul still scarred. Trust that, upon opening, light shall pour in, illuminating not just your darkest corners, but also guiding others still groping through midnight. Indeed, you came to this earth precisely for this hour. You were shaped for a singular plan beyond measure. And I, your Almighty, the one who began this good work in you, will not desert you in the middle. I will keep guiding you from grace to grace, polishing my reflection in you until you become the vision I conceived at the dawn. Therefore, my cherished soul, take heart, advance. Let the symphony I wrote for you resonate across the expanse. Let your life testify that light triumphs, that love banishes terror, that unwavering faith topples mountains. Truth speaks with its own voice, meek yet assured, mild yet able to shake the deepest foundation. Now that sound echoes within you, unambiguous and irresistible, ringing like an ancestral gong, rousing the cryptic hollows in you that were stifled by tasks, bruises, and wordless compromises. This truth houses a unique pitch, unreplicable or artificial. Among the world's cacophony, your soul singled it out, bridging you with what is everlasting, quiet yet intense, veiled yet permanent. Even this instant, as truth meets the most fragile parts of your spirit, you sense tears pushing upward, a burning need swelling in your chest. To yell, to drop your facades, to discard burdens you have long hauled. Do not push it down. Do not force yourself back into the shell of aloofness or protective numbness. Do not deny it as if it were hollow. Do not slam your heart out of terror at the wave rising within, because it is precisely now, the moment your innermost being resonates from the core, that an opening stands before you, the entrance leading to that release your soul has pleaded for through unending, trying seasons. Past the cracks, beyond the unmasking of outdated shields, beyond the dissolving of old illusions, does not lie a ruin, but a restoration shining beyond your grandest imagining. Past tears belatedly poured is not embarrassment, but a profound cure. Restoration from the root, not by your feeble might, but by the unstoppable tenderness of the one who loves you eternally. Resist the dread of the upheaval stirring in your chest. Do not panic when pillars you believed unmovable start swaying. This quaking does not signify destruction, but the demolition of compromised platforms and the creation of something renewed, more solid, deeper, and drenched in unconditional love. Following this tumult, you will be anointed anew, not merely to persist, but to live triumphantly, not only to seal your own wounds, but to heal the pains of others, not solely for yourself, but to become a vessel for my unending blessings. Only 20 minutes now remain, 20 minutes bridging now with forever, 20 minutes as heaven silently waits. During this consecrated window, Archangel Michael, the stalwart warrior of light's realm, stands right next to you. He hasn't arrived in a blaze of wrath, but with eyes shining gentle devotion, patience unending, anticipating your capitulation. His posture is that of a steadfast guardian who never strays his gaze from your anxious spirit, poised for conflict if you only nod. The relinquishment heaven seeks is no disheartened resignation. It is the readiness to discard the burdens no longer needed. It is not the acceptance of catastrophe, but an acclamation of triumph, setting down the symbol of your dominion at the feet of the only one worthy to bear it. It is not giving up because all is lost, but a confession that self-sufficiency will never birth real life, an acknowledgement that your greatest skills are still inadequate without a mightier, more compassionate, more dependable hand to direct your path. Perhaps you sense an internal war in your mind, that old nature, trained to persist by command, distrust, and unwavering self-exertion, strives to pull you back to the domain of familiarity. But realize, if you press through this friction, you enter a brand new life, a fresh chapter authored by God's own pen. You needn't be flawless to pass through the gate, only prepared. You needn't grasp everything to utter yes, only trust the one who beckons, faithful and honest, never deceiving, never forgetting. If you risk letting go, if you dare to hope, if you dare to move forward, the blessings awaiting you exceed comprehension, surpassing all illusions or hidden prayers. Don't allow the moment to fade like a fleeting notion. Don't allow regrets of the past or the specter of what lies ahead to rob you of the divine gift offered right here in this beat. While your soul listens, as your heart aligns with a timeless tempo, I beckon you, surrender. Loosen your grip on what no longer assists your eternal intent. Clear your spirit to embrace the new existence I prepared, purchased with an unending love. You will feel in that instant of softly whispered yes, a fresh stream coursing through your inmost being. The heavy loads you carried in silence will tumble away. The intangible restraints binding your limbs will fracture, and you shall rise, not with shoulders stooped by unspoken sorrows, but with shining eyes, empowered spirit, and a new melody echoing within your chest. No longer shall you trudge ahead in monotony. Instead, you shall run, you shall leap, you shall sing across meadows of liberation you once only fantasized about in your tears. People everywhere will witness, yes, they will witness, that the Lord's touch is upon you, that you stand renewed, that you truly have been revived, reformed, and anointed for a calling exceeding yourself. Somewhere in deserted corners, your name is uttered in tones of regret rather than malice, accompanied by a mourning desire that will not hush. An individual who used to believe they could erase you without consequence, who figured your absence changed nothing, now speaks your name amid tears in the silent hours, tortured by a conscience that will no longer grant them rest. And heaven hears each sob, each stifled lament. No tear is lost. No prayer strangled, unvoiced, is missed by the one who interprets unuttered language. And thus, what transpired in secrecy, the plotting, the rumors, the covert transgressions, now falls under my righteous reordering. Every sneer, every push away, every show of indifference you once endured in determined calm is turning on its head. A heavenly pivot is taking place, noiseless, unstoppable. Scales of justice are being reset. The oppressive yoke of injustice that bore you down is lifted, replaced by a coronet of dignity I had planned for exactly this day. Your name, the one that drew your tears, convinced you it signified unchangeable defeat, shall be dignified, not with shallow flattery from man, but by the sacred recognition that I myself will articulate in front of any who formerly despised you. In that spot, precisely where you were once shunned, where they hurled biting remarks, where you were disregarded and left wounded, you will be welcomed, honored, and placed high by my own unwavering hand. Favor is about to greet you precisely where you once remained invisible. Those entrances abruptly slammed previously, and the lost prospects that seemed to vanish into thin air will, at last, stand open, no longer due to your desperate banging, but by the might of the one who unlocks with no one able to bar. Those who minimized your worth, who belittled you, will be powerless to contest the brilliance now resting on you. They must concede that a mightier hand, the hand of heaven, always circled and sheltered you, long before they grasped it. But my beloved child, all these wonders can only manifest if you do not recoil from this sacred juncture, if you do not let mistrust harden your soul, if you do not lock out the relentless call reverberating through eternity to you in this second. This entire communication, these phrases infiltrating your spiritual veins, serves not as temporary comfort, but as a spark that cannot die. Should you allow these lines to infiltrate you deeply, as rain soaking arid land, you will behold new shoots in corners you presume dead. Keep your heart unclosed, even if that stirs dormant aches. Let this sweet but scathing reality slice through the intangible bondage obstructing you. Shed no embarrassment if tears spill. Don't stifle yourself if you feel an expansion inside your chest, for in that dissolution lies genuine emancipation. In that surrender, unshakable triumph. In that seeming feebleness, a heavenly strength. Great transformations are only born from vulnerability. Incredible miracles only materialize when you abandon resilience to my love. You may have told yourself repeatedly that you must keep firm to continue, but this day I invite you to an alternate vision. Prove your courage by daring to be fragile in my presence. Achieve your victory by daring to lay down your defenses. You do not endure danger because you release control. You find sanctuary in my overshadowing. You are not saved by your self-made ramparts, but by offering me unbarred entry, letting my healing begin at the core. I watch your trembling heart, aware of how dread wrestles with longing. But never forget, my beloved, that your heart's quivering in my presence does not indicate defeat. It confirms that life is touching you. In your emptiness, my power shows its completeness. In your decision to retire your illusions of self-sufficiency, my boundless potential emerges in your story, unstoppable as a swelling river. Therefore, my appointed one, fling wide your heart. Let these expressions, no mere letters but pulses of living water, flow unimpeded into the fractures of your being. Allow me to rinse away the persistent grime of disappointment, enmity, and repressed traumas. Allow me to fortify every crumbled stone, raise any toppled wall, this time upon a bedrock that remains unwavering. Truth and everlasting love. A fresh era dawns, a fresh paragraph is forming, not an excerpt of exhausting labor, but of serene guidance, not a spiral of pointless warfare, but of stunning, God-ordained triumph. And you, shaped by every tear, each act of faith over revenge, each choice to cling to love over anger, you will stand on that boundary, traversing into the mighty promise designed since time's beginning. All of heaven holds its breath, awaiting your choice. Still, Archangel Michael stands guard, patient, unyielding, resolute, a citadel invincible, prepared to fight on your behalf upon your smallest nod. Even a small yes can transform your life's trajectory endlessly. Do not let the present slip by like a breeze. Grasp it in both arms, with all your longing, with every stir of your spirit craving genuine liberation. For I, who commenced a glorious endeavor in you, shall not rest until I complete it in magnificence. And every scoffer who once ridiculed you will be silent, witnessing my miracle of turning ashes to diadems, weeping to delight, disregard to immortal distinction. Previously, you stifled yourself, dimmed your luminous being, simply to appease those who felt threatened by your authentic glow, merely to fit in the restricted box they constructed for you. You buried that unrelenting whisper calling from your core. You yielded to remain in the shadows. You acquiesced to a form of half-existence you were never destined to endure. Not because bravery was lacking, but because your spirit was gentle. You did not want to harm. You did not wish to be the cause for people around you to confront their own deficiency. Consequently, you hid parts of who you are for a long while. Yet, my precious, it must now cease. The spark inside you was not meant to be concealed. The song in your soul was never intended to be muted. The splendor and otherworldly valor I poured into you were never meant to be imprisoned by society's acceptance. This is a season of renewal. This is that precise moment where every captive potential within you is liberated. Every single chain that bound you to the earth, be it panic, condemnation, or unseen curses from yesteryear, looses its hold. Those intangible links that once whispered you lacked merit, that you were not strong enough, not valuable enough, are decaying under the beam of truth. I breathe fresh air into your soul, a breeze of emancipation, reparation, my own validation none can refute. The vile utterances aimed to subjugate you are rendered impotent under my righteous authority. All malicious accusations must fall silent. I have declared that heaven wipe away every charge leveled against you. Your name, which some endeavored to defile, is now etched by my hand in luminescence across the cosmic tapestry. None may degrade what I exalt. None may dull the crown I place on your head. And this certainty rushes toward you like an unstoppable surge, not to sweep you away, but to purge the stains this realm smeared upon you. When this truth touches you, you might weep uncontrollably. Tears of awe and not disillusionment, tears of rapture, tears proclaiming your deliverance with a resonance you cannot fully voice. They testify that your essence is now seen, recognized, and embraced unconditionally. You can finally release the breath you have been holding for years, while silent burdens vanish in the wave. Tears gushing like a restorative torrent from your deepest recesses, uprooting embedded sorrow, resentful recollections, and stillborn ambitions, clearing fresh ground, eager for the new harvest. I need you to know that not a single heartbeat in your life was wasted. Not a shred of your pain escaped my awareness. Not a whisper of your undisclosed dedication was lost among the clamor of creation. Every single fragment is now gathered, pressed into a sanctified anointing for your ascension. Those events intended to bring you ruin will be repurposed into the foundation of your strength. The traits they scoffed at or detested become the glittering jewels crowning you. And, my dear child, this change reaches far beyond you alone. This is a world-altering shift, designed to cascade outwards. When you are lifted, it does not benefit only you. You elevate multitudes. When your radiant essence beams in full measure, it illuminates the path for still-searching souls, hearts yearning for a hope they cannot name. With each progressive step, doors formerly bolted open for your family, your community, your time. However, you must choose. Choose not to cower when anxiety reemerges. Choose not to shrink yourself when those around you fail to grasp your magnitude. Choose not to apologize for the intenseness of your spark in a world at ease in the dusk. You are summoned to stride firmly, sure of your identity, your belonging, and your mission. None can decide for you or travel your specialized road. It is your trembling yet determined yes that snaps the chain. It is your earnest though gentle gallantry that traverses old boundaries. It's stepping onto the land I bequeathed for you. I do not claim it shall always be smooth sailing. Some days the wind will fight you. Obstacles will provoke you to second-guess your resolve. Yet I assure you, you shall never do this alone. I will be the breeze sustaining your wings while you tire. I will be the living flame within you whenever a chill of the world sets in. I will be the faint voice inside you, echoing, "You are precious, you are chosen, you are on a mission." So, my shining child, get up. Let your inner radiance flare unashamedly. Let the melody of your heart ring out, unconcerned by whether humanity approves. May each step convey love, liberation, and an indestructible poise. See now how everything is adjusting, how every dividing wall is crumbling, how heaven leans down, breath held, awaiting you to ascend. And I, he who has cherished you eternally, rejoice, my arms extended, my song of victory swirling around you. Come forward, my beloved. The kingdom stands ready. The diadem of triumph is set. That brilliance you once hid is finally free to unfold, absent of fear, absent of apprehension, emerging in its entirety, the exact way I fashioned you. Now, I urge you to abandon all that no longer fits your path. Do not cling to the splintered pieces of the past solely because they are familiar. Do not hold on to once valuable things that have grown burdensome. Do not let outmoded attachments incarcerate you at the dawn of a new chapter. Let them all drift away like the final withered leaves preceding spring, clearing your spirit's garden so that you might sow fresh seeds, hope, life, and the sacred resurrection I specifically tailored for you. Open wide your heart, your arms, your entire being to receive the freshness that comes. Do not resist, do not stall. For the gift descending upon you is unlike anything you've ever touched, intended not to break you but to lift you up. It does not require more striving from you, but rather frees you from the exhausting weights you have carried inside for too long. Above all, my loved one, I implore, do not turn away from this invitation. Do not sadden my heart by spurning what I tenderly arranged from before time's dawn. Do not, owing to ingrained doubt, reject the wonder approaching to wrap around you. Do not allow fright or exhaustion to blur your sight at such a priceless juncture. This is no normal opening. The door does not remain unlatched forever. This instant was destined, the entire cosmos anticipating it, angels gazing in hopeful wonder. If you dismiss it, I will still accomplish works in your life, for my affection is not contingent on your perfection. But the unique blessings only accessible in this time will drift beyond your hold. That longed-for cure from the lonely nights, that delivering answer you secretly pleaded for, that restoration you were ready to abandon. They are all here, waiting, needing nothing besides an unwalled heart welcoming them in. Do not fail to grasp the life-changing truth. Do not let the dread of genuine introspection prevent you from walking free. Truth may startle you, but it arrives not to harm you. It arrives to liberate, to brighten your soul's darkest corners, so that you need not carry unspoken hurts or memories stowed in silence. An individual, indeed, someone quite unexpected, has acknowledged the matters that your spirit partly sensed. They have revealed what they did against you, the slander, the betrayal, the secrets you somehow suspected but never confirmed. Beyond that, they have acknowledged the realities they stifled, the words they kept from your ears, spurred by ego or anxiety. I was witness to it all. I heard the concealed words muttered in shadows, observed the tears they choked back upon facing the aftermath of hurting a heart as tender as yours. And now the tide has shifted for disclosure of this truth, not to shame or to exact revenge, but to free you at last from the scorching injuries, unasked questions, tangled knots deep in your soul. Hearing these truths will shake you. You might weep. The carefully constructed walls around you may begin fracturing. But do not dread those tears. They mark your flight from captivity. They are the restorative waters scouring your aged burdens, cleansing the debris you have carried for too long. Their flow confirms that your healing has reached the most central places, surpassing superficial comfort. After such a moment, your identity cannot revert. No longer must you disguise yourself for fear of wounds. No longer need you sustain a feigned fortitude if your soul feels fractured. No longer must you tolerate half-heard barbs or accusations you struggle even to name. You shall walk released, truly released, a liberation not born out of denial but gleaned through confrontation, aided by infinite love. I expose these scars not to wound you, but that I may equip you with fresh wings. Wings battered in storms, but now remedied with my mercy, reinforced with might from my throne. Then you shall ascend, no longer tethered by the weight of the past, no longer diminished by toxic remarks or unvoiced shame. You shall glide with clarity, assured of the immeasurable love around you. You shall belt out a new refrain, a melody of one liberated by unveiled truth. You shall forge ahead unburdened by shame or lament, standing tall, with calm conviction, knowing your soul is priceless to the Creator. Even those who treated you cruelly, discarding or overlooking you, will bear witness to my renovations in your life, not to inflict blame on them, but to convey my restorative invitation to their hearts. For I, the Lord your God, equally merciful and just, intend not only to draw you from obscurity, but to use your reformation to brighten the path for others. My cherished one, let this precious fact take root in you. You have never, nor will ever, journey alone. Even in your bleakest hours, imagining a planet spurning your existence, feeling cast away under the boundlessness of life, you were encircled by the vigilant eyes of heaven. Strong arms guarded you from unrealized hazards. Archangel Michael, top warrior of the luminous kingdom, has been dispatched repeatedly, specifically because your soul is too valuable for me to leave you unprotected. He has served as your shield in battles known and unseen, times when you misread obstacles as setbacks, rejections, or inequities. Yet, multiple of those lost opportunities were intervals in which Michael stepped in, constructing invisible barricades around you to obstruct spiritual forces bent on hampering your heavenly calling. Circumstances aligning, random mishaps thwarting the enemy's agenda, abrupt directional changes that veered you from the pitfalls. These were never random. It was Michael and other loyal guardians standing watch in your darkness while you slept. He not only blocked affliction, but also placed subtle markers on your path, spiritual beacons, so that the attuned among you might sense you were never truly deserted. A beam piercing a moonless sky, an affirming voice from a stranger, a striking night vision engraved in your memory, or a sudden inner push prompting you to pivot, thereby eluding unperceived snares. Those were not coincidences. They were Michael's signals, heaven's message urging you to adhere to my direction well before you comprehended. Far more extraordinarily, time itself periodically shifted for your benefit, warping so you could reach precisely where you needed to be, meeting certain individuals at divinely appointed crossroads. Michael guarded those junctures of chronology, warding off demonic arrows of procrastination, gifting you precisely those brief moments your heart required to develop and not forfeit the season crafted for you before the world's foundations. My dear child, if your spiritual vision could peel back all that has occurred for your sake, your heart would dissolve in reverent astonishment. You would see how many times the flame of your faith, fading, almost snuffed out, was rekindled by heaven's breath. You would watch how often a hidden hand supported you when your stamina nearly collapsed. You would witness how repeatedly Michael bowed at my throne, voicing your name in supplication, appealing for more compassion in your frailty, clamoring for more grace when your spirit was too overwhelmed to carry on. Never accept the lie that you are unimportant or your life inconsequential. If you were commonplace, the foe would not direct such unyielding assaults your way. If you lacked worth, heaven would not assign its fiercest protector to guide your steps. Your being outshines all the cherished stones of the earth, bearing your Maker's imprint so powerfully that darkness recoils when you enter any space. Now hear me. A new chapter looms. Each strategic shift, every furtive act of guarding, each patient fine-tuning from the heavens has led to this ordained moment. When you move forward, unchained, gleaming with glory, doors that were previously barred from your approach because you were unprepared now swing open. Marvels waiting for your heart to mature are finally set into motion. Every battle Michael fought and overcame on your account has cleared your way for a future more resplendent than your grandest fantasies. And now, lift up your soul in a prayer to me, and you might say, Lord, help me resist dismissing the profound sentiments you've placed in me. Show me how to treasure every tear, every stirring inside, and remember, these are markers of your presence. May my heart stay receptive and attuned to your gentle touch, and never lose the divine sensitivity that you have awakened within me. Lord, I am convinced that these enormous desires in my soul are not mere flights of fancy, but seeds you yourself have planted. Strengthen my fragile faith so I can wade into deeper waters, aware that I won't be forsaken, that you, my God, stay beside me always. Lord, I surrender all unvoiced sorrow and private wars, things only you have observed. I plead that you use these floods of tears to make a path, allowing your presence to enter, rebuild desolate places, and restore my tired spirit with everlasting brilliance. Lord, embolden me to fling my soul wide open to this unfamiliar chapter you call me to. Empower me to discard every mental weight, every vestige of old nightmares, every ambiguous fear, letting me advance freely and joyfully into the holy breakthrough you ordained for me from the dawn of time. Lord, I thank you for ensuring no archaic deceptions or ancestral curses persist in steering my life. Before your truth, I bow, praying that your illuminating word would flood my heart, break every unseen shackle, and usher me into the liberty you designed for me. Lord, whenever I quake in uncertainty or sense an unfamiliar dread, please keep me mindful that my feelings are not baseless. Guide me to trust from a place of faith, beyond illusions, that I may steadily discern your strong hand shaping my path. Mighty Archangel Michael, I honor you for your steadfast vigil, your relentless defense of my spirit. Remain my shield, watching over me with your wings, granting me ears to heed heaven's prompting so I am not late for the destined juncture in the plan crafted for me by God. Lord, I render my total acquiescence. I halt my frantic efforts and surrender every flawed method of control, begging you to reign wholly in my life. Make every yes an archway for a mightier, richer life, wholly anchored in you. Lord, should I confront unsparing fact, keep my heart from turning resentful. Pour your healing balm over each silent wound from betrayal. Sharpen my vision so I see that the publicizing of wrongdoing is not intended to break me, but to draw me into the unending freedom of your steadfast love. My beloved child, this sacred hour of revelation now draws to a close, but my voice will not fall silent. There are countless truths yet to break forth, and each week I will return to guide you deeper into my light. Press subscribe and ring the bell so that no whisper of heaven's counsel escapes you. Share below how this word has stirred your spirit. Your testimony becomes a beacon for others lost in the dark. Come back soon to this holy sanctuary of revelation, for I am already preparing new unveilings to strengthen your faith and reshape your destiny. Go forth in my peace, assured that my voice will meet you here again. Amen.